Bob, his whole thing's crazy with this Second Amendment fights and trying to take our guns and everything else. It's really got the country in an uproar here.
Well, the country's in an uproar because I don't think there's ever been a time in history when the ugly, naked agenda of a socialist president has been so clearly discernible.
Well, and that's true. I mean, he's outright said that no matter what, they're after the guns. And not only just him, Obama, but all the people on the liberal side of the Senate and the House and the governors. I mean, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, deciding that they're going to take our rights and they're going to take our guns.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got a president who has declared himself essentially, Bob, a dictator. He's publicly stated that if he can't do it by the legal process the way our government is set up, then he'll find another way to do it. To me, right there, that should be an impeachable offense.
Well, it should be, you know, and all these executive orders that he writes to try to go around Congress and everything.
But let's make sure everybody understands one thing. His big dog and pony show with his executive orders on gun control, not one of them control guns. Because he does not have that authority. He knows he doesn't have that authority. And if the day ever comes where he actually tries, then we'll know that a certain Rubicon has been crossed, from which there will be no return.
Well, you know, I think that the public's alluding to that and trying to give them the warning. I mean, how much have you seen posted here lately about, you know, in 1775 the British came to take the guns and that didn't turn out too well. You know, I think that it's reaching a new level in the American public where they've never actually tread into before, and I think it's got the government worried.
Well, I don't know, but I know this. I know that we have a president. We live in America now like no America there's ever been before, Bob. We live in an America today where the President of the United States has granted himself, effectively, the authority to murder U.S. citizens based solely upon his judgment of whether or not they pose a threat to something called national security.
You know, and sort of does away with the right to speedy trial and trial by peers and all that, and just puts it into one man.
And don't you love the way they create all these false dialogues like, well, what do we, the American citizens as enemy combatants? And you say, well, no, we don't want to do that. And they say, well, what do you do with an American citizen who's on the battlefield fighting Americans? Well, damn it, we have laws, Bob, to cover treason. And treason is defined as what? Waging war against the United States.
That's
or
correct.
Giving its enemies aid and comfort. Being on a foreign battlefield fighting American troops would certainly fit that paradigm. And you know something? We don't need anything new. We don't need all of this other garbage that they've invented that leaves open the door for abuse against American citizens right here at home.
Well, that's right, because that standard has stood since, you know, the Constitution was first put together and ratified. It's been sufficed to handle traitors and treason all this time. There's no reason it still can't stand and be the same judgment call that it always has been.
You know what we really need, Bob? We need elected leaders who are prepared to stand up and say, you know what? We're not going to argue this false argument. The argument we're going to argue is this, that we are here to preserve the liberties of the American people. If what you propose does not do that, then we will not stand with you. That right there is going to solve 99% of all of our problems in government in this country. But where are we going to find those people? Where are those leaders who will step forward and say those things?
Well, admittedly, they're few and far between. You know, there are a few out there, but they, like the rest of the company, have got to start banding together so that the voice is heard more than an individual here and an individual there.
Well, but the problem is we don't have any elected officials talking like that. None. And we need elected officials who are willing to stand up and say, you know what, for all of the rhetoric out there, our only true job is to maintain the liberty of the people of this country. That should be the #1 first priority in any consideration of any bill or any action that this government takes, and we have no one who's willing to do that.
That's very true.